Vesime, how are you today? How was your Mother's Day?
Oh, it was great. Hi, Daphne. It's so good to see you again. It's been a few weeks. Mother's Day was great. May is crazy for us for the first half of May with birthdays and anniversaries. But so happy to be here with you today.
Well, I'm glad. And I think you had a birthday recently too.
I did.
Belated happy birthday.
I'm 29 again.
But you, with the knowledge that you have today,
Yes, that's right.
yeah,
I'm wiser, but not older.
exactly. That's how we all want to be.
That's right.
So, Besame, we are talking about Mayflowers today. And Mayflowers, in part, is a reflection of the fact that we want to learn from those who are listening or watching how some of the seedlings that we've been planted are sprouting into beautiful flowers based on our prior conversations. And so, because it's been a while since we've actually had an opportunity to speak with each other and with our audience, do you want to recap some of what we've discussed over the past several months?
Sure. So we've kept it pretty simple. And with each of our Sunday seedlings, our 10-minute health snack turned into more like a 15-minute health snack. So much to cover in a short period of time, but hopefully everybody has found it beneficial and also informative. But our pillars, we have our Sunday seedlings and perfectly planted stands on the 7 pillars. And each of these pillars were covered in each of the episodes. So we had the Eat Empowered, move more, love more, stress less, sleep deep, nurture yourself, and live consciously. And now, living consciously is something that we will cover later. We haven't actually covered, so don't. If you go back to the blog or to the podcast recordings, you won't see that there. But we also had the lovely Laura Hale with our Living Holistically business, and that's episode 15, and we covered each of those pillars in that one conversation. So I encourage everybody to go check that out if they haven't already.
And we will make sure to include a link to Laura's show and some of the other shows in the show notes and on the blog. So, this is a loaded question. Do you have a favorite show to date?
Daphne, I knew I would be asked that question at some point. Friends who've listened to the podcast asked me that as well. I'll say that each of the episodes I feel cover, and each of the pillars actually cover, is like a chain link in this long, in their chain of life, essentially. And I like to put that chain, mold that chain into a heart. And that's really the purpose of our podcast and our health snacks and our Sunday seedlings and what Perfectly Planted is all about. So I will have to say, equally is just important. You can't break a link in that chain, in that heart, or it'll be empty. And so I have to defer and say each of them have been my favorite. I've really enjoyed just the information that we've shared, that I've learned, and the feedback that we've gotten from each of our listeners and viewers.
That's a beautiful analogy. Um, Thanks for sharing. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Not to make a play on
No pun
words.
intended.
And so, where do we go from here? I mean, we're still young with Perfectly Planted, but we committed to making sure that we share our direction, where we're going. And I know we've been noodling over some thoughts. Should we see what people have to say and maybe share a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely, Daphne. I think our viewers, continue to encourage you to give us your feedback. All of it has been positive, but we also want to hear what you love to hear most. But Daphne, just from you and I communicating on what's next, why don't you go ahead and share what's next in our next phase of Perfectly Planted?
So I'm excited because I'm an avid reader and really love to share a lot of the content that we've been sharing in each episode and that really helped inform our pillars came from our broad knowledge of everyone who has been contributing to this body of knowledge. So for the next 3 months, what we plan to do is to start a book club. And what we'll be doing is sharing with you our thoughts from some chapters on 3 different books. And those books are going to be The OMD Plan by Susie Cameron, The second will be The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution by Doctors Dean and Aisha Sherzai. And we talked a little bit about that book in an earlier episode.
Yeah.
We'll take more time to do a bit of a deep dive into some of what they're sharing. And then finally, one of our favorites will be talking about The Blue Zone Solution, a book by Dan Buettner, and doing a more of a deep dive on some of the Blue Zone's principles and how we can take some of what Dan Buettner and his team have learned and apply that to our everyday living. And more importantly, each of the chapters that we'll share aligns with one of the 7 pillars that Vesime talked about earlier.
I I'm really excited about that, Daphne. I think it was a brilliant idea because we gained some of our information from these books, and we've referenced the blue zones quite a bit in previous episodes. And so I'm really excited to make it a little bit more official and encourage others to take a look at those books as well, because they have great information on that. But also, we are secretly hoping that perhaps when our podcast recording will get in the hands of one of these wonderful authors, and we may be able to host them on our show at one point as well. Now, it may be a long shot, but anything is possible at this point, right?
You can only ask.
That's right. And so we're really excited that a number of you have reached out. We really appreciate the support. And in return, we want to do a giveaway. And so anyone listening and watching our podcast right now, if you can go ahead and comment and list the 7 pillars in the comments section of either Instagram, Facebook, our blog, here's a little secret. YouTube, you'll be entered into a drawing, and you will receive a copy of our first book. So here's a big announcement. The first book we'll cover is The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. This is from Dr. Sherzai and has really great information, also great recipes that we can work through as well. And so we'll randomly select the winner and privately message you all once, or that one winner. It'll be one winner, not you all, one winner. For anybody who replies, you'll get one entry. So the drawing will be May 20th.
Which means that one of you are going to be able to have a copy of that beautiful book. And we'll also, in our blog post in the show notes, we'll let you know which chapter we're going to focus on so that you can do a little bit of pre-work before our podcast. And that way we can have more of an interactive conversation. And the other thing, knowing we're trying to plan ahead. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll also let you know what books we're thinking about for Q4 so that you can go out and purchase them if you're interested. And while I know we're all a fan of Amazon, and Amazon has become a vital part of all of our lives, I would definitely encourage you, if you're purchasing any of the books that we're going to be discussing, if you can go to a local bookseller. Every single bookseller has had some challenges coming out of the past 2 years, and investing in your community and investing in your local store owners will help continue to promote a thriving economy. So if you need to purchase them online, that's great. But if you can walk into a bookstore and develop a relationship with a local bookseller and purchase the book, that would even be better.
Yeah, I love that, Daphne. I mean, definitely support local small businesses as well. Also, just want to make a little disclaimer here that we don't receive any commissions from any of these books. These are just books that we've actually really enjoyed and hope to share with you. And so please don't think that this has anything to do with us having any type of promotional commission out of it. So once again, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We are actually at about 10 minutes, Daphne. Maybe we need to flip back to a 10-minute health snack. But it's a quick little recap of what we've covered and what's to come. And we're so excited that you all continue to listen and view in and join in with us. If you'd like to subscribe, we definitely encourage you. Please share this with your friends and family. And we want to hear from you as well. We hope to hear from you on our blog. That's perfectlyplanted22.com. And also, always enjoy reading any comments on Instagram, Facebook, or a social media platform that you typically join, and also YouTube. So subscribe to that YouTube channel to see these podcasts or listen to it on Apple Podcasts or any other major podcast streaming agent. And so we really are excited for this next part of the journey. So be well, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you soon.